Okay, this is for Rebekah. Fancy that. Is it easy or hard to pretend to be dead? This is also from Natasha.
That made me laugh. I wouldn't say it's like super hard. I guess the hardest part is not breathing. This time it wasn't really bad because there wasn't really a lot of close-ups. It was like far away and then it was close up on my face, so I just had to be still. I think it was harder when we did the short film together, the first time we were together.
That was so hard.
And I had to have my eyes open because I guess I can tell because they posted it.
Yeah, it's posted.
I died and my eyes were open, and then Cherami kills me in that one, so I guess it's a nice reversal.
It is a role reversal.
And so my eyes had to be open, and then she was stepping over me when she left the bathroom because it was in the bathroom, and so I had to keep my eyes open.
The stepping over you was like terrifying for me
so
because
hard.
I was like, I don't want to step on Rebekah's hair or her face or like kick her in the face with my shoe on accident. And like I could only imagine when the foot is coming in front of you, you want to like blink or like, oh man, it was rough.
Yeah, so they would tell me like, okay, go with your eyes, and then I'm like, having her foot like in my, so that was the challenge. That
was crazy.
So it can be hard to play dead depending on the circumstance.
I think even if your eyes were closed, it's still just knowing that sensing something is that close to your face. It's not.
But it looked great. Once it came out.
It looked really cool.
And I can imagine having to be like Brian, having to be dead for a long time. That might be.
That was insane. And his eyes were open, and I imagine. Well, Kayla's death. That when Massey like shoved her and she's like flopped down, I was like, whoa! Did they like? That was Kayla. Poor Kayla.
So
she's abused in this.
That's a good question because that can be a challenge. This is for you. All right, this is for Cherami from Natasha again.
Hi, Natasha again.
Was it weird doing some of the scenes with the handcuffs around your wrist?
Yes. And I ended up holding the handcuff a couple of times because it made a lot of noise. And I didn't want to, I mean, like when we were shooting episode 6 when we're being chased and stuff, that one was really a fun, scary thing to shoot, but I didn't want to make any noise because I didn't want him to know where I was. So I held the handcuffs, and then we were doing like the stuff in the science lab. He's chasing me around, and he grabs that hand with the handcuff, and I'd been keeping it loose, so in between takes I could just slip it off, so I'm not walking around with like a handcuff hanging around. And it would get tighter, and he kept grabbing it, and it wasn't his fault. Like I didn't pull it down enough. But I had bruises from my handcuff, and I was like showing up to a rehearsal for another project that I was working on where I was playing a 5-year-old in a play. And yeah, it was good. And everybody was like, what happened to your wrist? I was like, I was wearing handcuffs. And everybody was like, what? Whoa. And I was like,
know about your
not like that. No, I was, oh gosh. I was like, that's why my knees hurt too. And everybody's like, whoa, what does that mean? I was like, guys.
They're like, John?
I'm sure, yeah. John, is there something you'd like to explain? John was like, guys. It was like delayed reaction.
I can see him too. Well, it's like when the first season when we did when Len like grabs me, he like pushes me against the door and then he pushes me out. Well, I have really sensitive skin. Like it's just the way it is.
It burns very easily. And because we're so like light skinned, anything shows up.
So I had like these, like I had actual marks, and Lynn felt so bad, and I'm like, oh, it's fine.
We kept bringing it up though, like you would say like, no, it's fine, and then we'd bring it up and we'd be like, Lynn, oh my god, are you okay? Because that looks really painful. And Lynn's like, guys, stop it, I feel so bad.
And it wasn't, and I wanted him to do it, tight, because I wanted it to be real.
Yeah.
But, so it's interesting you're talking about that, because we often do actually get,
a little injured.
Sometimes.
But it's not anybody's fault.
No.
So, it just happens.
Alright, this is also for Jeremy. What's your favorite genre of movies? And is that the main genre you want to portray in your acting as well? Also from Natasha.
I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I mean, I think that if I connect with the story, or I connect with the characters, or I connect with the performance in any genre, then I love the film. And there's some, I mean, like, I can't say, like, oh, I love comedy and I love drama, because there's some, like, subgenres, if that makes sense, where I'm like, that movie did not work for me. So it depends on the film. And I think that also depends on what kind of films would I like to do. It really, at this point in our careers, like, whatever we're right for, that we get to audition for, that we have the opportunity to do, we're going to do if we're right for it, because we want to work. But, like, later on, when I get to pick and choose projects, ideally, yeah, exactly, I would say that the script and the characters would make a huge difference rather than the genre. So.
Right, characters you connect to, and you want to tell their story.
Explain and explore and stuff.
Yeah, like, I agree. I don't have, like, a certain genre that I would just stick to. As long as the character and the story I love, like, I'm in.
There's a lot of romantic stuff that I like, and then there's some that I'm like, it was an awful romantic movie.
Now I just want to kill myself.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, this is for Rebekah. By the end of the season, Chrissy had become a favorite character of mine, mostly due to how we get to know her and the dimensions you as an actress seem to find in her. I'd like to hear the psychology behind the softer-sided moments of poor, murderous Chrissy, and how you got there between hacking up Lindsay Seidel and hiding in the ceilings. I really like that. Oh my gosh, that sounds funny. We should post that on Lindsay's Facebook wall, by the way. Hacking up Lindsay Seidel. Back to the question. Speaking of Lindsay, she said she thought Chrissy and Beckett were quite romantic. What do you think it was Chrissy saw in him? Sorry, I already kind of gave a spoiler for this.
No, that's okay. I'm going to try to explain this again the best I can. Hopefully it makes sense. For season 2, like, she kind of touched on a little bit. Chrissy starting out doesn't know that she's going to have to do these, do this. It's basically, she thought, I'll lead them to where I need them to be, and then Beckett will take care of the rest. So when he asks her to do this, it's like she has to prove herself to him. This is the chance to run with the big dogs, to be an adult, to be mature, to
win his love and affection.
Right, exactly. And I think Chrissy really does love him in a weird, sick, twisted way.
She's just fighting for her man.
And she wants his approval. She wants him to, keep her around, basically. So because of that, love makes you... Someone's hungry.
My stomach.
Love makes you do crazy things, I think.
Yeah, no, it totally does.
Totally drive you insane.
And it makes you react to things differently, too. You're not yourself.
Definitely.
In responding to situations.
So taking that, all those things that she feels about Beckett, then she's taking the things that she feels about herself, about, like I said earlier, being an outsider, being unloved, being unwanted, and thinking about all the things that Rachel, Lindsay's character, did to her, did to other people, how Rachel made her feel so awful, how she helped, give her this brand of the horror, taking all of those emotions and convincing herself that Rachel was a broken window. Rachel deserved to die because she wasn't a good person and she had basically ruined these people's lives.
Yeah.
In Chrissy's mind. She's able to do the unthinkable because of that, because of everything that she was feeling with Beckett, with her. So there's that.
Do you think that, I don't know how you played it, did you know going in, when we went to Saturday school, did you know that Beckett was planning on killing everybody, or did you know he was just, wanting to kind of, give them a scare, and you didn't know how bad it was going to get?
I think he had told her most of the plan. I think the only thing she didn't know was about her having
what she was going to have to do.
Okay. About her. Because I think that it wasn't, otherwise, I don't think she would have been able to do it if she hadn't known that that's what he was doing.
That's fair.
Because Chrissy does have a crazy side, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I also think it was more justifiable in her mind being in those situations, because if she didn't kill Rachel, then she dies. Exactly. And she loses the guy and she dies. So there's really...
She had no choice.
And when you're, running around seeing people die, that does a lot to you. Saying, oh, Beckett's I'm going to kill these people, and you're like, oh, that's fine. And then you see it happen. I think that would make her snap in a different way that she didn't expect either. So.
Exactly. And I think Beckett drove into her the broken window theory.
Absolutely.
And, why they were these horrible people and why they deserved what they were getting.
Yeah.
You know, and with Tad, to the softer side of her, because now you saw this horrible side of her, I think when Tad apologizes to her, when she sees how remorseful he really is and that he really does mean it, I think she realizes he's not a bad person and he doesn't deserve to actually die. Her heart comes out for just a second, and that's when she tells him to run, to get out of there. And you see her her little heart for just a moment, even though it doesn't work.
It grew 3 sizes that day.
He doesn't get out, back it comes, but that's just, you get to, for that second, you actually see her as a real person. Her human side is revealed, I think. And as far as what she saw in Beckett, when you're a teenager, especially a teenage girl.
Yeah.
I don't know about teenage boys because I can't speak for them.
I would say teenage boys would be the same way.
But there's something mysterious about an older man. There's like an adventure to it. They're mature, they're
and there's
worldly.
It's something that you can't have or you're not supposed to have.
Right. It's dangerous, you're a rebel or whatever. So there's that. Plus, Beckett made her feel loved. Beckett made her feel wanted. Beckett made her feel all those things that she hadn't felt. And so, of course, like, why not? Why isn't she going to love him too? Because she never had that. I mean, all she had were these guys that just basically used her because they could, because she was known as the whore. And she used them too for whatever food she could get, supposedly, if those were even true. But
that's true.
So that was definitely what she saw in him, was just somebody that could protect her, that loved her, that cared about her.
And he kind of took on, like, a little bit of a father figure, I guess, in a way that he was like, I'm going to, because, like, if something happened at school with the daughter, the dad's like, I'm going to go put him in their place. And I imagine that was kind of like, the broken window thing. He's like, I'm going to take care of this for you. And you're like, okay.
Right, because she lived coming from a very broken home. So those were all the things that she wanted, and he gave it to her, so she was willing to do anything for him.
I'm feeling this newfound, connection with Chrissy.
I know, and then it makes you kind of feel sorry for her.
I know.
Like, well, maybe she's not so bad. Who knows?
Maybe she's not so bad.
Never you know. We'll see.
I don't know.
All right. So hopefully that answered your question. Yeah.
I guess.
Hopefully. Yeah. For Cherami.
Oh, that was from Leah. My bad. Sorry.
Yes,
Leah. Who makes a Tumblr.
Yay, Leah. That was a great question.
That was an awesome question.
And it makes you, because when you're doing stuff, you have your own mind of whatever you're doing. But then when you're actually going to explain it, sometimes it's hard to explain your thought process, because sometimes it doesn't necessarily make sense to anybody else. It just works, and whatever works for you.
Right. Totally. And it might make sense to us, and then they're all watching this going, "Wow, they're insane."
Yeah, It's like 5 minutes of I have no idea.
Sorry.
Okay. So hopefully that made sense to you. Alright, this is for Cherami, obviously.
No, it's for Lindsay and Lynn.
Robin's been a favorite since the beginning. And I love how far she came in the show. I'm curious about a couple scenes in episode 7. The first is the one where, right as Robin reaches the gym door, Beckett swings it open from the other side, and Robin manages to hide behind it just in time. The second scene is when Beckett is hurling himself against the lockers down the hallway.
Oh my gosh.
While Robin hides against a wall opposite to the camera, unable to watch Beckett's violent breakout without looking around the corner. Were these parts difficult to film? Where you didn't know exactly what the timing was for something to pop out at you or make a bang? Or did any suspense simply help in your acting? Leah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, we had very loose blocking. And this was actually what I was talking about. Somebody said, was it scary just being in the gym? We shot this the next day, all that like cat and mouse stuff. And I had to stand inside of the dark gym where no one was in there with the door shut. And they could only unlock it from that side. So it was like they had somebody that would open it and then slam it open. Oh my gosh, it was awful. And so I was like stayed there. And as soon as I would get out of the gym, because like gyms creak, they're really creepy. I said that in the other video. And I'm like trying to envision like, okay, I just broke some girl's thumb, which I had a really big issue with. We didn't have a gag for that. Like the breaking of her thumb, it's really, all you do is you like go like this and then I can't do it now. This is awful. Yeah, and you just pop across.
Well, now you'll know all you
so
folks out there that want to
thumb.
pretend to break a thumb.
And I could do it on myself, like totally fine, and we would work on it. But to do it on Kayla, I was like, I just don't want to hurt you. And she's like, it's fine, look. And she's like torturing herself. And so I'm like imagining there's a dead body hanging from the basketball goal. There's a dead body there. I just got like groped really by the guy who's now dead. I've been handcuffed to a dead person, and I just broke a dead person's thumb. And so I'm imagining all these like corpses alone in a dark gym, and then I have to like do the scene, and I didn't know the timing. I knew that I couldn't get past, and Chad didn't know where I was because you can't see through the doors. So it was just kind of like a play it by ear. And there were a couple times that when the tape got busted because he would open the door right when I was there, and I was like, okay,
now I run.
So yeah, I mean it was very tense. And that was, I think in some ways that was where I got more emotional, because I feel like when you're, like, I mean I would cry a lot in the gym, but I feel like when you're left alone and just thinking and being really tense, that's when the tears start to fall, because you're not active as much as you are just thinking and walking and trying not to get caught. So yeah, that was I think that was more fun as an actor, but it was very tense. And Chad was intense with that, like throwing himself in, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know, and they told me and Chad, if you go one way, she's gonna go the other way, but you can't see each other, so just play off of what you hear or don't hear, footsteps or voice wise. And so yeah, I think the first couple of times he did that, I didn't know how far he was gonna go with it, and it was very I think for a second, I mean, I did, so I would assume that she would feel the same way, as you kind of just don't understand how tortured he is when he's throwing. You don't understand how someone could do that,
right.
And you have a moment where you're like, he's a human being. Why is he torturing himself? Maybe he feels bad for what he's doing, and then you're like, no, I don't care. I'm leaving. I have to take care of myself. So yeah, it was a very trippy episode, I think.
Right.
As far as things going on.
Well, I guess it helps you.
Yeah, it totally helps.
Either what's going on, so you just have to.
It was totally, for me, being an actor and doing scenes like that, those are sometimes the most fun, and when there's like more improv, because you don't know what's going to happen exactly, and you're like, I gotta be totally aware, and I have to be totally focused on this, whereas sometimes you're like, I know the lines, I know what's going to happen, I'm just going to stay in the moment and connect with this person, and this time you're like, I got to connect with everything. I got to connect with the sounds of the lockers, I got to connect with the doorknob, I got to connect with the echo on his voice, because I have to figure out how I'm going to play off of this. So you're really aware of everything, which is kind of fun.
And Chad's not here to say anything, but I'm going to speak for him. I think, like you said, I think every character had at least one moment of humanity.
Yeah, I would agree.
And their vulnerability come through, and not every, like I said earlier, no person is just one thing. You know, even if you talk to actual, serial killers, they even have things that cherish.
And
and so it was really, I think, important and great in the writing that we got to
we
see
were
everybody in at least a moment of that. So.
Well, even when Robin throws the acid in Beckett, I think in some cases you're like, yeah, she's getting away, and then you see Beckett was really twisted, and he did a lot of things that he shouldn't have done, but he's still a human being, and I kind of want season 3 to be a prequel, like Beckett's childhood, and you figure out like the Grinch Stole Christmas, why Beckett got that way. I think that would be cool.
Right.
Why he's so twisted and creepy.
Yeah, because he did a great job of showing all kinds of different things, and not just
Chad was amazing.
Crazy killer, but having multiple layers and levels, and it's like an onion.
He's a Shrek.
Well, those are all great.
What is up with my Grinch and Shrek? What do I live green characters today? I don't know what's up with this.
Like, I watched them before I came over. I just couldn't. She's like, in fact, they're in my bag.
Yeah, we could watch it right now as a web series family.
They were those are all great questions. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for
Thanks for doing that.
sending them in. And I don't know, is there anything else we want to?
I don't know. We'll be at a All-Con, maybe, some of us.
I don't know if I will be, but she will be for sure.
16th through the 18th, I believe, in Addison. So if you want us to talk ask some more questions, we could do that too.
Or sign stuff.
You know, that too.
I don't know why
I don't know. I imagine we'll have some pretty cool things there. I think
so if you're in the area.
Bart has some tricks up his sleeve.
So we really thank you guys. I don't even know
Yeah.
how long we've been talking, so we probably...
I don't know, it's probably like an hour.
So, I think Rand said 43 minutes. So we're gonna...
I thought it was like 4 hours.
It's been a really long video. We'll cut this down because we're going to have to break it up. So, thanks again for watching and supporting season 2. Like we said, you guys are amazing.
We really, really appreciate it.
We couldn't do this without you guys.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do a season 2, which I had a ton of fun doing season 2. I think it definitely made the show. And we wouldn't have been able to do it if you guys hadn't have shown the support that you have and continue to do so. So we appreciate it.
We love you guys.